Hello Gemini, and welcome to your reading for the month of April. Thank you so much for checking this out. My name is Rachel if you are just tuning into my channel for the very first time. So before we get started with your monthly reading, I want to give you two updates. The first is that I will be offering extended new moon and full moon readings, very in-depth readings, as well as a new moon energy clearing, intention setting, manifesting session, and a full moon clearing and manifesting session. So it comes in a little bundle, and I do ask for an energy donation of $5. So if you are interested in more extensive readings and getting those two sessions to really help usher in the energies this month, you can click the link below and get access to that package. The second announcement is that I and a good friend of mine, David Cohen, are having a free webinar called The Weekly Shift. It's a free webinar where we talk a lot about mindset and emotions and really shifting and transforming into the person that you are. You know, beneath all of that criticism and inner child healing and all that kind of stuff, we dig deep and we figure out who you really are, or you figure out who you really are. We just give you some tools to do so. And so if you are interested in that free webinar, it's going to be on April 2nd from 7 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe we will send out a replay if you're not able to make it, but you do sign up. So to get the link to that, also look below. Okay, let's get started then with your reading. So how we're doing it is this is a monthly progression. It's kind of like a timeline, 1, 2, 3, 4 to represent the 4 different weeks. It's not set in stone. It's, a timeline-ish, just basically how you can expect the energy to look this week. So I have 4 main cards. We then have clarifying cards, and we're going to further clarify with a love reading, a career reading, a life purpose reading, and I'm going to have you ask one question, and we are going to answer that at the very end. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's just get started. What can we expect, Gemini, for the first week-ish, the first part of April? So I'm just taking a look at all the cards now that I have them laid out in front of me, and I'm seeing a lot of swords. So before we start with the first week of April, let's just talk about the general energy, and that is a mental energy. There's a lot going on in your head. There's a lot going on mentally for you. Now, this can serve you if you use it in a healthy, productive, proactive kind of manner. But when you are super in your head and there's kind of like the energies of the mind are really, they're very strong this month for you. You also have the tendency to slip into ego, to slip into fears, to slip into overthinking. So I really see a lot of the cards speaking to that, and we will get more into depth as we go through it. But just keep that in mind, that that's going to be a large energy playing out for you the month of April. And it's just about using your free will to let go of those mental thoughts and those mental patterns and those beliefs that do not serve you and harnessing the ones that do. So let's go ahead and start with the first part of April. And you got the 10 of Swords in reverse, and then you got the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords always, to me, represents your ego. It represents that competitive spirit that a lot of us have, that we have to win. We have to do better than others. And the 10 of Swords is often talking about, often feeling like others have done us wrong, possibly thinking that others are out to get us, or it may be being like irritated or frustrated, feeling stabbed in the back. Now, since the 10 of Swords comes in reverse, whenever I see this card in reverse, so he's feeling stabbed in the back, he's feeling defeated. But the swords, I just imagine them falling out. So this is talking about moving past any sort of patterns of the ego, moving past any sort of talking about others or judging others or comparing yourself to others in a way that makes you feel just maybe not as good, makes you feel defensive, makes you feel irritated at the actions of others, what others are doing. Like, it's just the energy starting, but we're moving through that if you allow it. So you can stay in this kind of ego place, or you can allow those mental patterns to kind of fall, let others do their thing, and refocus your mental energy on what you want to call in. And the Ten of Swords, I'll turn this card upright so you can really see it. So he's feeling defeated, but then just on the horizon, the sun is shining. So this is talking about a new beginning. But you kind of have to allow these old mental patterns to fall away, because you can barely see the new beginning through all these swords, right? Through all of these negative belief systems, these patterns. But once they fall away, once they drop away, then you can clearly see what is next for you. So let's go ahead and pull the clarifying card, because I do think this gives a little more perspective on what the original cards are talking about, and that is the Angel of Love. So the beginning of the month, you are being asked to recenter yourself in compassion, for yourself, for other people. Develop more of a cooperation rather than competition attitude. If others don't serve you, if you get irritated with them, then they don't need to be a part of your life. Or if they are, like coworkers or family or somebody that's essentially a part of your life, can you come from a place of compassion, at least for yourself? Whenever we see others through a lens of compassion, we are the ones who benefit the most. And the same is the way that you look at all of your projects, the beginning part of April. The same energy is being emphasized to come from your heart rather than your head. So Gemini, your power chakra is your throat, which is so funny because it is the bridge between your heart chakra and your third eye or your head, right? So that is your power. Your power lies in bridging between the two. You don't want to be 100% logical. You don't want to be 100% heart-paced. It is for you to move the energy forward. It's finding the balance between the two. What works out logically, and then what is not serving your heart? What's not making you feel good? And what does? And once you find what resonates with your heart, either it's belief systems, actions, habits, what you want to manifest in your life, once you figure out what resonates in your heart space, then use your beautiful logic to make the shifts in your outside world, to help transform things, to manifest things, to bring things into fruition, to plan and strategize. You can use your mentality, your logic then, but you don't want to allow your mindset to get away from you and allow it to bring in lower vibrational energies. So it's really just finding that balance towards the beginning of April. So let's move now to the second week-ish of April, and we get the Emperor. The Emperor is strong. The Emperor knows where they are going. This is really stepping into your power. So I'm feeling like the first week of April, if you've given your power away at all to others, if you've given your power away at all to limiting belief systems, step into your heart, allow those to pass, release. We're coming out of the Mercury retrograde. Some of those energies are still with us. There might be a little bit of releasing in the beginning of the month, but then you're stepping into your power. And let me show you the clarifying cards. The Angel of Strength and the Woman holding a coin. So the Angel of Strength actually came in reverse. I'm showing it to you upright. And what this means is you're just kind of starting to step into your power and your empowerment. But it's an energy you're being strongly encouraged to foster the second week of April, and how you do so is valuing yourself. Placing a value on what you desire, on what feelings make you feel good, on what materializations you want to bring in. And more important than anything else is your worthiness of feeling good, of these materializations. And just kind of reaffirming, using your mind to reaffirm how worthy you are, how deserving you are So instead of allowing your mind to tell you you're not good enough or being focused on outside things that you can't control, we're shifting that now towards the second week-ish of April to using this mental ability to focus that you have, and we are putting it towards your own value and stepping into your power and gaining strength. So you want to think thoughts that make you feel empowered. You want to do things that make you feel empowered. You want to set up your home in a way that makes you feel empowered. Be around people who make you feel empowered. Anything that is disempowering to you, it is a time to allow those to drop away. So maybe don't hang out with people that trigger you. Maybe Maybe say goodbye to habits that make you feel less than. Whether those are mental habits, maybe those are habits in your that you just live by. You know, it might be a time to eat in a way that makes you feel good, to exercise in a way that feels good, to be in environments, whether that's out in nature or just structuring your living space in a way that makes you feel good, like with messages of empowerment, maybe like even affirmations, like just really setting yourself up to feel strong. And then we move on to the next week, so the third-ish week, and we get the Queen of Swords, another mental card. Now, the Queen of Swords is talking about mental clarity. So I feel like you are getting to this place by the third week of April, being clear in what you want, being clear in what serves you, what doesn't serve you. And I want to show you the two other cards that came out with her. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So two queen cards there. And then attachment. What I am feeling like is you are being encouraged to be very clear, again, on what serves you and what does not serve you. And focus on only that which serves you. You may be faced with some feelings of lack, with some feelings of like, I'm not good enough. But these are only attachments. They're not part of you, and they come up for you to release them. And how you release them is by getting very, very clear on who you are, what you want, and anything that does not support that is an attachment that you can let go of. If you see this picture, she's taking off a mask and she's looking at it. You're going to be given the opportunity to look at your limiting beliefs, at patterns that don't serve you, at these attachments through a new perspective. You're able to look at them for what they are and see that this mask was never a part of her. That was never her, but she had been wearing that mask for potentially her whole life, as if it were her. And now she's taking it off and she's looking at it, and that's what you are doing. So really this mental focus is playing out throughout the whole month, but the cards are recognizing that it's a journey, right? You're going to have your times where you're feeling really good, you're feeling really focused, and then you're going to have times where old patterns, old beliefs come up to the surface, and rather than being irritated, rather than being sucked into them, you're wanting to see them for what they truly are. For this is a month where you have the chance to transform, to shift out of these old limiting patterns into new ones, especially where your mindset is involved. So I'm feeling like this could be like physical manifestations, things in your world, but you got all swords cards. So I'm feeling like this month for you, this is talking about mental beliefs. The huge shift, the huge transformation that is going on for you is mental this month. And that is going to set the stage for the next, several months, several years, decades, what you're allowing yourself to do this month. And so I'm not trying to plug my free webinar, but if you can join, it might help you a lot if you resonate with what this reading says. Okay, let's move on to the fourth week, and this is the Seven of Swords, and this card holds a negative or a positive meaning. And I'm kind of feeling like for y'all, it might be both. So this card could be talking about deceit, something deceiving you mentally, something feeling deceived by others could be another piece of this. Okay, so that's like the not so great interpretation of this card. The positive interpretation is strategizing. So towards the end of the month, you could really capitalize on some strategizing. What is next? But you're needing to go through some of these stages in the beginning part of the month to get to a place where you're ready to strategize, because you're wanting to have that mental clarity of what you deserve, what you want, where you're going, before you're able to turn that into strategy. And for some, you might struggle with some more thoughts that are trying to deceive you. I'm feeling like these are thoughts that are saying, oh, that's a great plan and all, but you're never going to do it. Or you're not, like, who do you think you are? Like, don't dream big, dream small. You know, like the thoughts that hold us back. You likely, if you are trying to strategize something new, something big, are going to be faced with some of these thoughts, but remember, they're just thoughts, and it's your opportunity to transcend them. So I want to show you the cards that came out to support this: anxiety and deceit. But the deceit card came in reverse. So I'll show them to you upright, but I'll speak of the meanings in which the cards came out. So the anxiety card obviously talks about anxiety. It talks about, the main thing about this card when it comes out is, if you look in the window, there's a storm, but the storm is not affecting her, okay? But she's so in her head, she doesn't recognize that she's safe. She is safe where she is. All she's doing is focusing on the storm, but the storm is past her. She's not dealing with the storm anymore, except for within her own mind. And that's where the deceit card comes in. What mental storms are you still dealing with? However, remember I said the deceit card came in reverse and is talking about a chance to see through the deceitful thoughts, to see through the anxiety, to see through the fear, the limiting beliefs, the attachments. As you begin to strategize, as you begin to gain mental clarity on what your next steps are, of where you are going, of what you are worthy of achieving and accomplishing, you might be faced with some anxiety. But if you do not feed into the deceitful thoughts, then this is your opportunity to transcend it. Okay, so let's get a little more clarity now and go into a love reading. All right, so this is love, whether you're in a relationship, you're single. Take these cards for what resonates the most with you. 3 cards came out, and they are good, Gemini. The first is past life relationship, true love, give your relationship a chance. If you are in a relationship, then this is coming to say, like, you could be soulmates. You've known each other, your souls have known each other for a long time. And this is true love. And if there's any doubts, any of those mental deceitful patterns, give your relationship a chance. The card says work on your partnership. So what do you need to do mentally to work on your partnership? Now, if you are single, what you are wanting to do is get very clear on what you want in a partner, what feeds your soul. And you will, once you gain that clarity, and once you really open yourself up to it, and that's what this give your relationship a chance. And once you really open yourself up to it, then you call in this true love. You call in this soulmate kind of relationship. So if you are, this would just be a good month for you, Gemini, to have fun in your relationships, to not get bogged down with any frustrations is the word I'm hearing. Don't get bogged down with those. And trust trust and work maybe on your partnership. Like, what do you need to do to either work on your own self-love or to work on your partnership in a way that it can truly thrive? Because the cards are indicating that this is the one. Okay, so let's now move on to your abundance, all right? What is going to bring you in the most abundance? And this can be financial abundance, abundance of love, of experiences, of freedom, whatever abundance means to you. Employment change is the first card that you got. The second card you got is sever vows of poverty. Kind of like how I was saying towards the end of the reading, I'm feeling like and even like in the second week when you're stepping into your power, this is assisting in your abundance. Gain mental clarity on the abundance that you are worthy of. And this, for some, might involve an employment change, starting your own business, asking for that promotion, knowing that you do deserve it. But to usher in this shift in your employment, which will bring in abundance for you, you're being asked to sever these vows of poverty. And you know how these vows of poverty play out? In your thoughts, in those deceitful thoughts of yours. So what belief systems do you have around money? This is the month to understand them. This is the month to release them. And I would encourage you to write them down and just say, I release all vows of poverty now and forever. So be it and so it is. Write down all the belief systems that no longer serve you. As you do, you are going to be able to strategize more, to gain more clarity on where you're going next in terms of your purpose, what you're wanting to do, what you're wanting to create and manifest in this lifetime. And these two together, so by severing those vows, by severing those limiting beliefs, by releasing those attachments, you are shifting into something new, and both of these together are creating abundance in your life. Okay, so let's move on to your life purpose. So this is your career, this is a business, this could be anything that you really align with. If it's being a parent, volunteer work, or caretaker, whatever it is for you. Two cards also came out that are very similar to everything in this reading. The first card is deservingness. You, like all of God's children, deserve happiness, health, and love. The second is motivation. Pray for guidance as to how to increase your enthusiasm for and focus on this project. So again, what's not serving you? What is holding you back from really taking those big steps that your heart is telling you you need to take? That your heart is telling you this is in alignment with who you are, what you want. What is limiting you? What doubts arise? What fears arise? Allow them to come up, process them, but always come back to your worth and your deservingness. You, like all of God's children, deserve to follow your dreams, deserve to achieve success and abundance. And as these limiting beliefs fall away, then you're refocusing to gain motivation for what is next. That's where the strategy comes in. That's where the empowerment comes in. So this, like everything else in the reading, is very twofold. All right, finally, ask your question. I'll give you just a few moments. We're going to end with this. So what question do you have in mind? Maybe something came up from the reading. Maybe you just already have one. Okay, are you ready? Two cards came out. Ask for help from others. And success. So you interpret those however they pertain to your question. Ask for help from others and success. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I love reading all of your comments. They make my heart smile. I hope you have a beautiful month. Again, my name's Rachel. Information is below. Sending you so much love and light.